Well, good morning, you all. Good morning. I'm just checking in back on the original channel, Survival Skills and Others. Just checking in. If you want to chat with me, hop on the chat there this morning and chat. Just want to make sure that you folks know that that's where I'll be preaching from now on this channel, okay? So I know there's nobody got any verification or notification of this live right here, but I'm just checking in. See if I can get anybody to watch me this morning. Who is that this morning? Who is that? Tony Gilbert. Hey, Tony. You know I was on another channel there for about 90 days, don't you, brother? Who else I got in there this morning? Now I had that new channel up, you all, but it just wasn't reaching it just wasn't reaching the world with the gospel the way that I wanted it to. So I came back to this channel. They have cut my camera back on for my live here because this is the first time I've signed into it. And my daughter and me finally got me signed back in. So what have you all been doing? What has everybody been up to is what I'm saying. I'm going to have to move in there close enough where I can read that, you all. Sorry about that. Yeah, Tony, I went off of this channel because they turned this camera off right here on my live. So maybe they won't turn it off anymore, but I'm just going to stay on this channel. I figured out how to do it without the camera. You guys could see me, but I couldn't see myself. And what I done was I started just setting a mirror up in front of it so I could see myself because, you know, when you're talking to somebody, you sort of like to know what you look like while you're doing it. Who else is out there this morning? Tell me who you are. I'm not going to hurt you. I've got some hunting videos that's coming up, and of course, you'll see me uploading songs and things like that. I do gospel music. Everybody knows that. But I also do my blacksmithing, herbal remedies. Right now, I'm drying some comfrey so I can make some more comfrey oil. The stuff really done good this year, and the stuff really works good for them aches and pains and sore muscles and all that kind of stuff. So I've got 7 people watching, but only my buddy Tony Gilbert's talking to me. Got you a fox? Ain't that a little bit early to get a fox for a hide, Tony? Anybody out there want to talk about herbal remedies with me this morning? I've got a whole cabinet full of that stuff here. I know I've showed this before, but I'll show you again. Turkey tail mushroom. What else I got right there that I can show you? Slippery elm. Anybody interested in herbs? I've got tons of them there. Literally tons of them. Plantain salve. You name it, I've got it. Because that used to be one of my biggest things until YouTube got mad at me, okay? They got really mad at me over my herbal remedies. I guess they didn't want anybody to have that information. Of course, you could go to somebody else's channel and look at it, but for some reason or another, they didn't like it on my channel. Yeah, Tony, been studying it for over 40 years now. And that's the only way that you can do it. If you'll study the stuff constantly. And of course, you know, I started out with a book, and I still use books on herbs that I don't know what they are, because there's literally thousands and thousands of herbs that you can use. And gosh, I have people calling me. I have people emailing me constantly from different parts of the world wanting to know what this or that is. So that's just what we do. And I don't understand why in the world that Google would want to get mad because you were showing somebody something that would help them do their, you know, help themselves out. Hey, Jim. Now I'm back on the old channel, as you can see. Now I won't be using the other channel unless, you know, they destroy this one again on me. But I can reach more people on this channel. Just for instance, this simple chat right here that I never advertised, I've got 10 people watching, and that means that those 10 people, you folks, have been sitting there waiting for me to upload a video on this channel now for I don't know how long. So I apologize. I put that on my community page. Remember, you can go to the community page if the person is a pretty good YouTuber. They will put up things on their community page about their next video, or about what's going on, or why they're not around for a specific reason. You can always go to the community page on my community pages, and you can see what I'm up to and what the latest thing that's been going on. So you all getting ready for hunting season? Yep, Michael. You stayed subscribed to me, buddy. I appreciate that. But I did put it on this community page. If you'll go back and look at probably the last post I put up why that I was not on this channel at you know, for the last 90 days or however long it's been. Oh yeah, well, good luck out there, Michael. Send me some photographs if you kill a big deer or a big elk or something. I think you did that once before. Well, thank you, Kellh. So I think I'm going to do the muzzleloader this year for the hunt and show that if I can get by with it. I guess I can't show the shot, but I guess I can, you know, drag my rifle around and you know how YouTube is about that kind of stuff. How many other you 12 people out there are watching me and not saying anything? Yeah, I've got a Hawken. Yes, sir. I got 2 of them. I got a 54 caliber and I got a 50 caliber. The 54 caliber is a side lock, cap lock, and the other one's a flint lock. But what else you all been into? Wow, that's Tony, Michael. That's good. Yeah, that's what mine is, Tony. It's a traditions. Sure is. A fat rat. I ain't seen you in a while, buddy. Good morning. Hello, Kimmy. You feeling all right today? So you can see I'm back on the new channel there, Kim. So just tune in on Sunday morning, and this is where I'll be if they're going to allow it. See who else we got there. Michael Sean. I hear you, buddy. They can surely do that. Them some, we call them down here, we call them hogs of the woods. They tear up everything around here. Back when I was a kid, there wasn't no bears in this section of the world. Not none. There weren't hardly, well, there wasn't no whitetail either. They got reintroduced here in the 1950s. Turkeys were gone, bears were gone, and the whitetail were gone. But that stuff has made a really, really good comeback. Kim, have you gathered any herbs or have you been doing that? Yeah. I was out in New Mexico where about 4 years ago, I guess 4 years ago, when my son was still out there. And man, was there, New Mexico, you got the desert and then you got the mountains, and the mountains are absolutely beautiful. If you've ever been to New Mexico, if I moved anywhere in this country, I'd move to New Mexico. Yeah, they sure are. So anybody got any herbal questions that you'd like to ask? Since it's that time. Wild lettuce it's done bloomed, and right now is the time to get it. If you use that kind of stuff. Because we know when it starts drying out, it's not going to be any good after it dries out on its own. Tony, you have to take your herb, chop it up really good, dry it before you do that. I'll show you this here just a second, okay? Right there is plantain salve. You simply dry your herb. You mix it with a little bit of olive oil is what I use. You put it in a one of them 2-stage cookers. or you can put it in. Sometimes I will use just a crock pot, but you don't want your herb to go above 90 degrees. Okay. You don't want this stuff to get above 90 degrees because that's going to start destroying your herb. All you do is cook that, and in most of the time in a pot, it will only take, I do it in 2 hours. Then I take beeswax and add it to the oil and get the consistency that I want to make a salve. That's all you really do. You can do it without cooking it by just mixing it up with the oil and letting it do the slow process, or you can do the fast process in just a double boiler. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say a minute ago. You can do it in a double boiler. Hello, Tammy. I'm just doing a little update on my new channel, okay? We're talking about herbs or hunting or anything else you want to talk about as far as that concerned. I was hoping some of the other folks that's been watching me on my other channel will pop in there, but I've already put it on the community page on the other channel that this is the one that I'm going to be using here, okay? I know it's confusing to people, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to keep the things going. Yeah, when you decarbolize it, you're heating it up in the oven, okay? Decarbonization. That's where you take your product and you put it in the oven and you heat it up. That makes the chemicals in the plant readily available. That's decarbonization. Salve is really easy to make. You know, the Indians just used any type of grease. They used any type of grease. They would use tallow, grease, lard, whatever they had, bear fat. But you know that kind of stuff goes rancid pretty quick. If you use hog meat, lard, if you use sheep tallow, deer tallow, or any of that kind of stuff, you have to have it properly stored because it will go rancid really quick. Because I've tried that, and that's the reason that I use beeswax and olive oil. But I'm looking forward to deer season this year. There's some great big old bucks out here, you all. That's just they're just humongous this year. I guess they had plenty to eat last year because they some big old boys running around. Maybe one of them will make the mistake of stopping within range of my rifle. Tony, do you bow hunt? Any rest of you people that's watching me bow hunt? Yeah, they will preserve them, Kim, but they'll go rancid too. You bow hunt. What kind of bow do you have? I'll show you my bow if you'll hang on there just a second. Hang on 1 second. Let me come back in here. I know people like to see this stuff. That's just a Cabela's longbow is all it is. It's a 45-pound, 68-inch longbow. Yeah, Tony, I'm 71, buddy. I'm getting to be the same way. But I like to try to shoot my bow. It seemed to me like it helped my shoulder out as far as, when they tell you how to exercise your arm to sort of strengthen that, you'll have that joint pain, and you might have a tear in your rotor cuff and all that kind of stuff. You don't I don't really like to I'm not going to have it operated on. I can tell you that. Hello there, Uncle Sasquatch. I know you people know who Uncle Sasquatch is. Everybody watches my buddy Jimmy, or they better be. Yeah, Kim, the time may come when you'll have to eat it. I don't know. You can generally tell an animal that's got that anyway. If you see the pictures of them, they're plumb dilapidated. I don't know why you'd shoot it and take it home with you, much less skin the thing. Jimmy, you getting any rain down there yet, buddy, or is it still dry as a bone? Down there, over there? I wonder which direction Jimmy's at. Jimmy's this direction. He's going yonder. I guess Kim's that direction. Did you get that knife finished there, Jimmy? Justin sent you. I was wanting to see that. Yeah, Jimmy, he's about in between you all there, I guess. Jimmy, I got some I got some teak that I'm gonna make a handle out of. See how that looks. My cousin gave me some teak there the other day. That stuff's pretty expensive, hard to come by, but he had some pieces of it that come off an old table, and he gave it to me. And the teak is waterproof, and it don't come from this country neither. It comes from overseas somewhere. It's imported. I've used it before to make turkey collars out of. But I didn't buy the stuff. I picked up scraps of it where people were using it. You ever use any teak? Anybody out there ever use any teak for anything? They built ships out of it in the old days. Let me get in here a little closer to you all. Hey, you got a table saw, Tony? Because that's what I make them with. I take a table saw. I've got a jig that I saw them things out with. I take a piece of hickory, and I've got this jig where I can saw a wedge out. I think I've got a video on that. If I don't, I'll try to put one up there. But yeah, I can saw that wedge right out there and then just drive it right in the axe. Is it a really old handle, or can you put a new handle in it? Sometimes if you leave them sitting around too long, they get dry rotted, and they really ain't no good at all. They'll break on you right about the time you're chopping up something. Well, thank you so very much. I like to do that kind of stuff. I like to put scenery in them songs because people just get tired of me sitting there at the guitar beating and a banging on it. I like to put the scenery to it and let people see that. In other words, God made the scenery anyway. If it's the mountains or the hills or the valleys or the creeks. This Epiphone right here, this Epiphone my wife bought me. I did not know how to play a guitar, okay? I always done the singing in the family, but I did not know how to play the guitar. My wife bought me this guitar in 1978. I always used that because when I got out of the Army, we moved back to West Virginia and she bought me this guitar right here. I think she paid $350. This guitar is a FT150 Bard. And this guitar was made in Japan, believe it or not. But it come from Kalamazoo, Michigan. This is one of the best guitars as far as I can play this one all night, you all, and it don't hurt my fingers. The way the action is on the guitar. You know how when you buy a brand new guitar, the strings are set way up on the neck? Well, the reason they set them up that far is because it makes them sound louder. The sound they pick up the sound a whole lot better. That's the reason they're set way up, but they sure do eat your fingers up when you play them. My dad had one of them old-fashioned Gibsons. I mean, an old guitar. And he played that thing all the time, but I didn't like it because it sounded good, but it would chew the end of your fingers off. You got an Epiphone? Good. Good guitar. I don't know who made them. I don't know if Gibson's the one that were making them for them or what. But I know one of these big companies was making them. Yep, Tony, it sounds a lot better. They're a whole lot louder. My brother's got a couple of Martins, and they're set way up high on them Martins. Boy, they eat your fingers up. I thought it might have been, Jimmy. I thought it could have been. But like I say, I've had that since, I guess, 1978, or I believe it was when she purchased that. My brother showed me G, C, and D, and that's about all I still know is G, C, and D. I bet it does, Tony. I bet it does. I thought about having this a mic installed in this one. I don't know if I'll do that or not. You talking about a microphone there, Michael? By the way, you all, I've been using the Hero camera to shoot them outdoor scenes. See that camera right there? And that's an old one. And I know the sound is not perfect on a Hero, and unless you got them outside of these cases, they have a little bit of problem with the sound. A lot of people complain about that. But what I done was right here where the sound hole is in this box. I took a Dremel tool and I cut that hole out so the sound would go through that. It sounds a little bassy, but it still works pretty good. But I like the Hero camera for outdoor shooting scenes and indoor because it puts everything in focus and it's wide angle. Does anybody else out there use a Hero camera? See that camera? When you see me sitting in that video there, standing on top of that mountain, standing down by the river, standing in the graveyard, wherever I was doing them videos, hunting and fishing, I'm usually using that Hero camera. And I know a lot of you people just watch YouTube. You don't really do videos, but you know, you can take your cell phone now and you can do a video on your cell phone, edit the thing on there and send it to YouTube that way. But I like to put them on my computer, and that way I'm getting a whole lot, I can do a whole lot better editing job out of it. I know it, Tony. I need to get out to the river, buddy. I sure do. Yeah. Sure do. Need to go down to the river. All right. So you don't do videos on your channel. You just watch. There's just a lot of people that watches on YouTube. They don't do videos. There's a lot of time in keeping a YouTube channel going, getting the next video done, getting it edited, getting it out there, you know, seeing whether Google will kick it off of the internet or whatever. I guess, Jimmy, you have to go to the big lake. One thing about us, we've got the old New River running through here. Did you now, Michael? Yeah, you're going to get ads on this, you all. My daughter's got to make some money some way. I have to, well, I don't have to, but let's just put it this way. It's a good idea to keep your daughter happy. You know what I'm saying? You'll see an ad pop up, and they won't last very long. You have to buy you a new one, Tony. Yeah, I don't make any money on this channel. You all, I could, but I got a little old daughter. Well, she ain't a little old daughter anymore. She's got me 2 grandkids, but the girl needs a little bit of extra money. You know how they are. They got to have a little bit of pocket change when they're raising kids. It takes all the money you got to raise them, but you know, if you got a little bit of YouTube money popping in every once in a while, that sort of helps you out there some. Oh, okay. Lord, I done more of them out years ago, Tony. I started out with just stick with a piece of string on the end of it, throwing a hook and a worm in the water. You ever do that? Yeah, my son, he does some fishing in through the ice now. He lives up in Wisconsin. They were out there last winter doing that. Who is that? Libby Reed. Yeah, me and her started that together. We sure did. Me and my little daughter. That's the only reason I'm on YouTube, because of my daughter. Me and my youngin'. Yep, I caught my first bluegill that way. I wasn't really hooked on fishing. I'll be honest with you, I'm still not hooked on fishing. If they ain't biting, I ain't standing there on the riverbank, okay? I ain't standing there for hours on end waiting on a fish to swim around and get a worm. I just ain't got that kind of patience. You know that stuff, you know, bamboo, Tony, will grow just anywhere. There's patches of bamboo people's planted out here in this section of where I live. It literally takes over the whole neighborhood. Bamboo does. But they got fishing poles galore if they need one. Yeah, I know it. I started to plant some over here, but I decided not to after I saw what it done to some people's property. That stuff gets 20 foot tall, even taller than that. What they're growing around here, it ain't about that big around, but the stuff will be way up there in the sky high. But it literally comes up off of the roots. And I mean, it takes over. Jimmy, you done got Jakey's treat there this morning? Not yet. He's getting anxious. He got to be. I hope they still got some down there. I didn't know that, brother. I ain't never growed any of this stuff. I know one thing, it's invasive species. How many of you people out there like homemade ice cream? And when's the last time you made any? Snakeheads? I seen a big old rattlesnake this year. You did if you'll have to see it on that old channel I just come from, but yeah, I got a video on there of a big old rattler. The sucker was 4 feet long. He's running around up in the mountain in a possum's belly now. Poor old snake. Now, I got a little wife. Her name's Miss Libby, and she makes some of the best homemade ice cream that you ever lapped up out of a bowl. And it don't take her that long to do it. She got one of these newfangled things that you put in the freezer and you freeze. Then you drag it out and you put it under your mixer and you pour your milk and your stuff in there, your flavoring, and you start the mixing. And sure enough, in just a few minutes, if you don't wait till it turns to concrete, you got homemade ice cream, some of the best you've ever ate. Hint, hint. And of course, she makes cheesecake. Golly. How many of you folk ever eat some cheesecake? And peanut butter pie. Oh, goodness. Peanut butter pie. Yeah, it's newfangled stuff. You don't have to go get you snow or do anything like that. You just pour your milk in it and put your stuff in that little pot and stick it under the mixer, and it won't be long till you got you some ice cream. Old Bay vanilla. That sounds good, Tony. Good stuff. What are you saying, Kim? Italians are the only one that made that stuff? Cheesecake? I know one thing, it gets the old belly to looking a little bit round. Yep, we did too, Michael. Sure did. I've seen my dad make it a lot of times. He had to have salt, and he had to have snow. We made snow ice cream. And it was good. Of course, you know, after the hand crank type got out of fashion, they made one that you plugged into the wall and it did it that way. But it was just a fad, just like everything else, I guess. It was just a fad. Rock salt, yep. Put that around the outside of it so it made your ice stay colder for longer. I guess that's what it was doing. She makes it every time it snowed. Good deal. Sorry I keep leaning in there, you guys, but I can't see with the glasses on or with them off really good anymore. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Just the way a cookie crumbles. So what's everybody got planned for the rest of the day? I think I'm going to go take a nap. How about you, Uncle Sasquatch? Mike, I don't take no nap. I've told you that 100 times. Well, thank you, Kim. I'm going to let you go, okay? Just thought I'd check in this morning, see how many people would pop in here and talk to me. Catch me on Sunday morning on this channel, okay? Appreciate each and every one of you folks. Tony, good luck. Michael, good luck. Everybody out there, good luck. Jimmy, get that dog some treats. Libby, thank you for watching this morning. I really appreciate it. I'm going to end this live stream, okay? Just continue to watch for the videos. I'll be cranking them out if I can. Talk to you later.